As you listen to this, take into consideration that Mercury in Pisces, reading the Northnode, it's really picking up on Sagittarius Black Moon Lilith. What is the most honest and truthful conviction of the soul that is like a spreading fire to find its way into future possibilities? That's what's being picked up. It's not something that is in words, it's in the truth and conviction of the body. And it carries the affidavit of your past lives, your testimony. It carries a story as you, the underdog. This is the season of the underdogs. But many have been jealous of your light. Many were walking with you as a master, and they refused to be a disciple of said master. They refused to learn. They refused to admit that maybe they didn't have the light that you had. So instead it was envy, it was jealousy, it was hatred, it was rebellion. It was attacks, attempts at destiny swaps. And look at all that you had to suffer as a result of that. And how it taught you to hold your truth, not sell it, not lay down for it, but always overcome, always prevail. Black Moon Lilith Sagittarius is under duress in life contracts of past Taurus themes since 2018. Cycles and stories in this house. At the limitations of what you could afford, based on stability, finances, and getting past a self-esteem that has been utterly shot and destroyed. How to get past that. We're headed for the other side of the story. Sagittarius Black Moon Lilith must find its way out into the themes of the life story. Sagittarius, a territory of Jupiter. Pisces, a territory of Jupiter. There's some things in common here, and it has everything to do with your conviction. Conviction. Mercury, reading the Northnode. What is my conviction? What must become my truth? According to what Sagittarius is demanding in my soul. What must become my truth? That is your concept. And you've got to bring it in. Remain open to intimacy. I say it over and over again. Remain open to intimacy. We need intimacy. God help you if you think that intimacy is just sexual acts. Save yourself from that limited thinking. Get it together. It requires you to be nurtured at the depth of yourself, at the essence of yourself. Nurtured in your soul and your spirit. Not every person is qualified to do that. That's a very rare opportunity. That you have access to someone who knows how to acknowledge your soul. That you have access to someone who knows how to acknowledge the depth in you without taking advantage of it, without exploiting it, without using you, without manipulating. It's a rare find. But it's a requirement. As part of your healing, you have to pour into someone. As part of their healing, they must pour into you. It's mutual. The underdogs must come together and raise each other up. This is a story of the underdogs coming to power, coming to rise. Joseph is at his turning point. Cinderella is at that turning point. The meek shall inherit the earth. We're here. Who are you nurturing and who's nurturing you? Cherish it. Who's holding vulnerable space for you and you for them? Cherish it. Let's consider some things. Listen. Mercury at the Northnode is attempting to get a cognitive concept of what life would look like if you would draw the line between you and others who have consumed your identity. This could be persons or circumstances where someone or the circumstance has clouded the judgment, set you in an air of confusion about who you could be, who you're not, what is appropriate for you, what is meaningful to you or not, what direction you're going, what your future should consist of, or who should be in it. There's a lot of confusion because a karmic teacher taught you how to find yourself in the midst of claims and assumptions and suggestions that you were free to reject or accept. And you see that there's a mess to clean up in the aftermath of Saturn's karmic teachings. And that aftermath includes clarifying who am I outside of these opinions, suggestions, threats, limiting thoughts, and confusion that had me doubting myself, that had me second guessing myself, that had me to question whether or not I am who I know I really am. And Sagittarius Black Moon Lilith is amplifying the truth in you. It's amplifying the conviction of who you really are. that amplification helps you in the dark, intuitively, from the third eye, to see what your image really is. And you're getting a glimpse of it, who he or she really is. And now, what they have been feeding you of inappropriate powers, inappropriate persons, circumstances, institutions, orders, organizations, life crisis, dead-end careers, whatever the case may be, it becomes noise. It becomes noise in the background that you're no longer identifying with, tuning into, accepting, or allowing yourself to believe. And Mercury is reading, speak soul. Where do you want to go? Who do you want to be? Now that you found freedom. Where now? Where from here? How will you use your freedom? It's not a light question. How will you use your freedom? My only concern in this discourse is that you will underestimate what I just asked you. How will you use your freedom? Pisces Mercury just passed the Northnode. And Mercury was getting a reading here of how the soul wants to grow. How does your soul want to grow? Through what means? The cognitive satellite, Mercury, is not reading mathematics and geometry, schematics, facts, figures. It's attempting to articulate matters of the heart, themes of the soul. It's attempting to articulate emotional and intuitive substance that is there. Our acknowledgement is required. Our acknowledgement is needed. In that acknowledgement, confession of where we still struggle. Admittance to where we still may not trust ourselves. And acceptance of where growth is still needed. This prior to the retrograde. When Mercury crosses back over this point, things will be a little different in that prior to, there's a crisis. That crisis is between Taurus, Uranus, and final degrees of Aquarius. This has to do with the stability and security that you're cherishing, that you need, that you're very careful not to compromise. And at Aquarius, there's opportunities that you see to innovate the redundant and futile patterns that you've already outlived energetically. And you see that through this context of life at your Aquarius placement, you may be able to find a way forward into what would be more authentic in your reality. Mars has a conjunction with Vesta. In that conjunction, Mars is reading to you, focus. Focus on what really matters. That is, remove yourself every now and then. Come back to center. What is the real focus here? Don't get caught up in process, works, procedures, daily events, distractions. I need your focus. I need your focus. Use your willpower. Use your initiatives. Use your assertive intentions toward yourself and where you are sensing that you could be going. And you're sensing where you could be going through Mercury conjunct the Northnode, getting a read on what is the soul attempting to conceptualize toward the future. What has the soul already decided that I am to become? It cannot be read in words, it cannot be found in letters, only the symbols of what spirit has to express. It's a value, it's an essence, not yet words. Vesta wants us to conserve sexual energy, to keep the intensification of creative power available to accommodate for what's being read. There's a great deal of confidence in that if you're able to pull it off. Sexual energy, the pressure, the intensification, and not ruining it, wasting it, but channeling it and focusing it, maximizing your creativity, because creativity is what's going to make the difference in the number one year, 2026. Number one, expressing Pisces and Aries transfer. How do I get from Pisces over to Aries, where there is a reality of this thing that I'm conceptualizing, and Mercury is reading the soul. This is not reading the job you want, the house you want, things that you want to fill your stomach. Claim of status, competition, consumption, greed. The soul is longing to identify the source, the divine. I know there's a reality where love, compassion, empathy, care, selflessness, universality, togetherness, mercy, beauty. All of this is available and possible. I sense it. It's in contrast to the reality that we're currently in. Look around this world, your nation, community, headlines, the media. We're trying to re-identify ourselves as living man and living woman, not fictitious, incorporated person. When you come out of the illusion of fictitious, incorporated person, 14th Amendment, de facto status, the dead corpse, all caps, on the Social Security card. When this illusion is up, what is left? It's the water trine. Pisces, namely, and Cancer. That's the living man and the living woman. Re-identifying with spirit and source. What does it mean to re-identify with spirit and source? Mercury is helping us to articulate that because it's a foreign world from whence we came in this modern time. How do we get back there? What does it look like? What kind of a reality is it? We're falling out of love with illusions, lies, dreams, the disasters that the flesh wanted to entertain. It has to take place in the dark. Did we not all come from darkness? Even the darkness of the womb? Were you not formed in the womb in darkness? Didn't your cells split in the darkness of the womb? So likewise it is. Living man, living woman, who are you? What makes you happy? What makes you satisfied? What makes you content? What is meaningful to you? What is happiness from that side? Fulfillment, joy. What is it? What does it look like? What does it feel like? Where labels doesn't do it. Status doesn't do it. Job titles doesn't do it. How much money you have can't do it. Being in a race, the corporate race, you can't do it. Sex, you can't do it. Drugs, you can't do it. None of these things seems to do it. So what is it? What's your soul really longing for? It's the simple things. It's the simple things. Bring your head down here. You're looking for something so big and vast. Easy. You're going to miss it. It's under your nose. To become one with something of substance. To become one with someone of substance. That is to be alive. What has substance? What holds real substance? Substance feeds the soul. It nourishes the soul. Healthy macros, not empty calories. It satisfies and lasts. It sticks to the ribs. What are these things? Aha. Without intimacy, you will never know. Without intimacy, you will be outside of the game and never in the game. It will remain a mystery to you without intimacy. Where is that intimacy for you? Do we understand now what intimacy really is? It's synastry. It's dissolve. Dissolve of everything that kept you away from happiness, that kept you away from fulfillment, from joy, peace, security. Letting it all dissolve away. Getting closer to where we can finally surrender without the threat hanging over the head of what will happen to you if you be yourself. What will happen to you if you become sincere, if you become true, if you become honest? What will happen to you if you do what your heart is really telling you to do? If you live the way that your heart is really telling you to live? Is there a threat over you that's telling you you can't do it? What is that threat? I'll tell you where the threat is. It's in the square. The square of Taurus, Uranus, and the final degrees of Aquarius. In those two houses, as you look at your natal chart, there's a crisis. There's a crisis between an illusion of stability and a demand for innovation in your life. The illusion of stability, Taurus. Your soul knows that a decision has to be made, but you're afraid to do it. You're hesitant. You don't see a way to do it. You're confused, doubtful. Mercury is trying to read the soul. Where will you grow? How will you grow? All while those tight-ass church shoes are hurting your foot. Your toe is curled up in those tight-ass shoes. Every step you take, it hurts. You're scared to take them off. Don't worry. Oba Shango will do it for you. Uranus to the rescue. Shango will break you free at Taurus. Shango will loosen the chains and liberate you. It will scare you. It's going to make you nervous. Oba Shango is coming to save you. It's already understood that you feel or think that you can't make this decision in a timeline that you perceive. You're not able to detect, sense, or feel in the darkness where to strike. But Shango knows. Uranus. Shango knows where to throw the bolt of lightning. Shango knows. And you're at Shango's house in Aquarius. And from there you see there's another way of seeing things. There's another way of seeing myself. There really is a reality where the living man or the living woman holds the significance. Takes control of the narrative, begins to write the story. You see it possible from Aquarius. Final degrees. I've seen enough, I've heard enough, I've done enough, and I know now it is possible. But what seems to stabilize me, what seems to pay the bills, it's threatening me. It's telling me I can't go, I can't do it. It's an illusion. Oba Shango will set you free. Uranus has the plan, has the measure. And your liberation is at that final degree of Aquarius, where you're supposed to be. The appropriate energy for the living man, the living woman, not the incorporated, fictitious character. Not the one who fell into attachment with inappropriate powers and authorities. When I refer to this square, I'm referring to the eclipse in Aquarius that's going to set the basis for a different read when Mercury returns to the Northnode, reading a different story with the soul. Right now, the soul is burdened with the limitations at hand at Taurus, in which that story has to change. That pattern has to change. That way has to change. And oh, it will. Very soon. But after this eclipse, Mercury will read something different. And that is, now that the piano over your head finally fell, now that the dog you were scared of finally bit you, now that the bully you were scared of, you finally got to have your fight. You got your black eye and they got their black eye. What is there to fear now? Are you sober yet? Can you think clearly? What is your soul saying now? Now that you got the threat out of the way, now that you dealt with it, now that you confronted it, now that it's a past story, a past theme, it's done now. And yes, Uranus did it. It's done now. So what will you do now? What's your true story that you're aligning with? Now that you don't have to tiptoe anymore, now that you don't have to pretend and play along and fake smile and everything else, now that you don't have to play this role, cosplay, wear the mask. You've been running around this bully for all this time and you finally socked them in the eye. Okay, what now? You've been wanting to ask Susie out for 6 months on the playground, bringing in butterscotch, handing the candies, doing the homework for her, carrying the books. But you never asked Susie out. You never said, Susie, I really like you, Susie. Because you're scared of her rejecting you. So it took you all this time. So now that she finally rejected you, now that she finally told you to kick rocks, now that she finally looked at you and said, bum ass nigga, I'm not interested in you, what now? Are you free yet? Can you think now? Are you sober yet? Are you grounded? Can you accept the reality now finally? Are you ready to gauge your situation in truth and authenticity now? Are your hands finally empty? For God's sake. Scared to jump? Why don't I just push you? Huh? You're scared to jump? Just push you. So now what is your soul telling you to do? It's telling you to do what you should have done all along. And it's at Aquarius. Who and what you really are. Your calling. Your service. Your genius. That we all need from you. And guess what it rewards you with? It rewards you with what your soul has been longing with at the Northnode of belonging, merging, becoming one with what? The purpose that you found as a service out of wisdom and suffering from the past. Your conviction turning into active compassion and love. Your testimony becoming a substance of healing that gives you fulfillment in return. The Pisces Northnode is in your service at Aquarius. The soul's evolution through Aquarius. Reading victory to Black Moon Lilith in Sagittarius. I knew you could do it. I knew you'd get there. Now you have a place for me. Now now you can accept me. Now you can incorporate me. We're trying to get to the real, the authentic, but we keep clinging to what's really not real. You know what you really want, but you let fear stop you. Why can't you be decisive? Why? Make up your mind. Where's the growth at? Where's the point of growth and expansion? Where is it? Capricorn is what you gotta do. Aquarius is what you wanna do. Can you see it? The living man and the living woman doing what he or she wants to do, not what they have to do. Because you evolved. What do you want to do that is fulfilling, that is meaningful, that is healing, that is loving, that becomes an act of mercy for all? What is it?